Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I am a South African man and I do not know if you can assist me. I was helped, or let me say, I was manipulated by a Zimbabwean healer. Of all the spirits that he could have brought up from the dead, why the hell did he choose to wake up the spirit of a gay man? In the Tolkoloshe that I do have, it is the spirit of a man that used to be gay when he is still alive, and I am tired of being raped by this spirit day and night. My Tolkoloshe rapes me whenever it feels like it wants to, and this happened a couple of weeks ago. It has been happening anyway, but I was with this very beautiful woman, a woman that was different from all the women that I have been with. She is indeed a slay queen, but she has those wife material type, and she wanted us to make the relationship to work out. We were at a club. She had invited her friends, so it was me, her, and her other two friends. We were chilling, we were enjoying our lives, and I was pumping out money because this was the girl that I wanted to get married to eventually. But then that was when this Tolkoloshe decided to stick its spiritual manhood in my sim number 2. You know, like when a man and a man sleep with each other. And that is what this Tolkoloshe does to me. I had to scream in pain. Even she was surprised. Everyone was shocked because all of a sudden, I felt like that there was a man that was inserting his manhood inside of my sim number 2 in a very painful way. I screamed like a madman, and this girl, she even cried, and she asked me what was wrong, and she dumped me. I do not blame her. The way that I was acting when this Tolkoloshe was sleeping with me right there in front of everyone, I ended up kneeling down because I felt powerless, because it was holding me too tight for me to walk or to do anything. And I had it whisper that it wanted to give me a doggy right there in the club, which was very painful. So it seems as if God has just decided that he wants to see me suffer. God just wants me to be humiliated at all the times. My name, you will call me Mandla, not my real name. I am a 30-year-old South African man. I'm still very young, but I am rolling and I am making a lot of money. I was born and I was bred here in Soweto, and I need help. I was assisted by a Zimbabwean man. That is why I have come to you. Maybe you know people that can assist me. I am tired of pretending, moving with all of these sports cars and looking like a man that has made it in life, but knowing that I am a wife to a gay Tolkoloshe that does not give me rest. I swear on my mother's grave that I did not even know that I will live with a Tolkoloshe that rapes me, sometimes even twice a day. I didn't get it from cheating on someone's wife or just random witchcraft, but I have brought this curse upon myself, and it started with something that was simple, something that any man that might have laughed at me, it can happen to you, oh brother. All that I wanted was to bring her back. That was all that I wanted. I grew up in Midlands. Life was tough. I was a hustler, as my father was from day one. By 19, I was already selling airtime, sweets, and we were selling whatsoever at the taxi rank. At 25, I was working for this other guy who ran a taxi business. I was working at his spaza shop, but life was really bad. I was not lazy. I wanted a real job, but whenever I would drop my CV, I will never get called. I then started staying with my baby mama We had met in high school. She was quiet, she was very intelligent, and I really loved her because I thought that she was going to be the one that was going to pull me out of poverty. I invested in that girl. She went to college, and when she was in college, the girl then started changing. At first, she did not reveal to me that she now had a boyfriend that she had gotten in Bramfontein, and she quickly moved out when I learned that this was what had happened. At first, I was so sad, but in time, I told myself that it was my mistake. I had upgraded a woman, and once you upgrade a woman, then you will leave her with no choice but to dump you. And when she dumped me, Brother Nashi, I then started looking for someone that could help me, because the money that I had spent on this girl, it was just too much. During lockdown, I would confess to anyone that was willing to listen to me, thinking that I would find someone that will hear my cry, because I wanted my girl back. One night when I was on Facebook, I spoke with this other guy who told me that he was from Zim, but he believed that my problems can be solved only by red garment prophets from his country. I met up with this guy in a group because I was now joining any group, you can name it. I would join satanic groups, I would join Illuminati groups, I would join those groups of traditional healers from South Africa and from neighboring countries. All that I wanted was to get rich as quickly as possible, and my mission was to get rich. Once I would have gotten rich, I was going to show this girl that I have made it in life. I was told that there was this other man who was staying in our same community, but I ended up meeting with this guy at Para Taxi Rank. That was where he was on the day when I called him. When I saw this guy, I could not even believe that this was the man that was going to bring back my wife. The guy smelled like snuff, and he was wearing a fake Manchester United t-shirt, and he was wearing a trousers of many colors. He went with me to this other saloon. Oh my God, let me tell you something. The guy, with the way that he was wearing, when I went with him to the saloon where he was saying that the wife was, I could not even believe my own eyes, for the wife was too beautiful to be with such a man. He looked at me and he said, I can see that you are full of doubt. You are even asking yourself, how is it even possible that such a beautiful South African woman can stick by a man like me? This he said when we were in the car, which he says that the car belongs to that woman who owns that saloon. He laughed at me and he told me that he uses charms in order for you to have a beautiful woman that can make anyone marvel at her, a woman that was born in a rich family. In order for you to fish such a fish, he said, you need to use charms. For these women, they cannot be found so easy. You need to have a proper plan on how you are going to get these women. I said, please help me. I need help. Whilst we were seated in his car, he looked at me and he said, you know what, my man, I can bring your wife back, because he asked me if I wanted a new lover, even a sugar mama, but I wanted my wife back, maybe with a little bit of wealth. He said, I can bring your wife back in 3 days, but you need to understand that this is what we are going to do. This is not child's play. For this, I charge. Normally, I charge around about 30K. I then said to him, 30K, my man, what you are looking at is less than 1 rand. He said, what do you mean? And I told him that there was no way. I did not have any money. I could never get 30K. He then said, okay, I'm going to charge you 3K. And once I start, you must finish the process. This process cannot be stopped. If you break the rules, my ancestors will start to fight with you. I said, okay, let me try and see what I can do. I ended up selling my phone and my laptop, took it to Cash Crusaders. I got 3K And I then went to his house and I gave him that 3K. That night he called me back. We were in the location and he told me that we were going to start with the process. He wanted my wife to come back to me as quickly as possible. We entered into this other shack and there was a big clay pot that was full of water, and I saw that there was a dead bed that was there. It was a pigeon and a small wooden carving of a naked man with a huge manhood. He told me to strip my underwear. I did as he had instructed me to do. He smeared some black stuff on my forehead, chest, and on my buttocks. Then he made me to repeat my wife's name, whom I will call Thandeka, 3 times. I had to call out her name whilst I was stirring into the clay pot, and he burned some herbs. Then he handed me a packet of herbs and he said, boil this at night, at midnight, bath in it naked outside. Do not dry yourself, then sleep. In 3 days you will come back to you. These herbs that he gave to me, they were so sour to taste whenever I would drink them, and it was so itchy when I would use the other herbs, because he told me that the pain that I was going to feel, that was the pain that she would feel in her heart that would force her to come back to me. On the 3rd day, I was outside of this other spaza when I saw this other car that pulled up. It was a Bolt, and Thandeka stepped out and she was actually crying. I said, what's wrong? She said, babe, I don't know what I was thinking. Please take me back. I am sorry. It was like magic. She moved back with me on that same day. She was laughing and she started kneeling down in front of me. She would even wash my hands. I thought that this was it. I returned back to that man and I told him that I wanted only one charm so that I can keep my wife. I wanted to get a proper job. He gave me some charms and I was able to get a job at Zimba, that company. That was where I was working as an assistant driver. I got that job through a friend. I only spoke with him only once and he said that he was going to speak with his manager, and like magic I was hired. But I was told to carry that charm with me in my pocket at all the times. I really do not know how I lost that charm. The week when I lost the charm, I called the guy and the wife told me that he had gone back to his country and she did not know when he was going to come back. A week later, he called me and he said that the spirits, that is exactly what he told me, the spirits, they want the balance. He said, what balance? I paid you. And he said 60K because of the charms that I gave you. He wanted 60,000 rands so that we can go our separate ways. I laughed and I said, no ways, I'm not going to pay you so much, it is a lot. And he dropped his call. He texted me and he said, you will regret it. And I did not care. 2 weeks later, it began. One night after making love to my wife, I felt something that was touching my buttocks, which was very strange. Even my wife, she never did such a thing, and I would never allow a woman to touch my buttocks in such a way. I thought that maybe there was something that was wrong. I looked at Thandeka and I saw that she was fast asleep. She was actually facing the other way. Then something heavy climbed on top of me and I felt that this was a man. Before I could even move, it started to penetrate me. It was the most painful thing that had ever happened to me. I do not know how gay people live and how they make love, because the pain that I felt on that day here, it was very painful and it was violent with me. I could not scream, I could not move. When it stopped, that was when I woke up and I spoke with that traditional healer about this issue, and he told me that he wanted 60K. He told me that this money is interest. The more that I wait and the more that I delay without paying him, then this was going to cause a lot of problems for me. In order for me not to have a lot of problems. I was supposed to pay him in time. 3 months later, Tandeka fell sick. She started with some headaches and she started bleeding really bad. She collapsed. She died at Barakwana within a week. The day she died, the man called me and he reminded me that I owe his Zimbabwean ancestors, and when they want their money, they do not play at all. I have tried everything. I was taken to Alexandra to this other white garment prophetess. She is a woman who prayed for me, but the next night the Tolkoloshe came. It was much more harder than before. It almost broke my rectum. I was bleeding. After that, I was taken to a South African Sangoma who told me the truth. He said he did not want money because he felt sorry for me. This Sangoma stays in Orange Farm. He told me that because I had lost that other charm, if only there was that charm, if only I could find it, then he was going to assist me. Without the charm, he cannot break a covenant. He said that when you have done a spiritual covenant, even if you pray, unless if you bring those original items that you would have used for, he said that this Tolkoloshe can even stand in front of my ancestors and show them that charm and says that this is what your son said he wanted from me, and I married him using this charm, so let me be. This is my wife. There was one day when I even slept at my cousin's house in Pretoria. I was literally trying to run away from this Tolkoloshe, thinking that it was not going to find me. At 2 a.m., I woke up screaming. It was on me. I was sleeping on my belly. It was laughing as it was abusing me. My cousin found me on the floor bleeding. He could not even understand. The most humiliating moment was that moment when I told you that I was at a groove. I was in the VIP with this girl that I thought that I was going to marry, and when it hit me, it started as a pressure in my spine, then a burning pain. I even dropped my glass screaming. People even thought that I was running mad. I do have money. I have 3 taxis. I have a small bar. I have a property in Midrand, but I can't sleep without being attacked, even in public. I live in fear. Sometimes when it's on me, I can even fake a call because it will be so hard to stand, even to walk. It will be hard to sit down. It will be much more hard. I just walk away and I can hide in the toilet, biting my hand so that I do not scream until this thing is finished sleeping with me. I have brought this upon myself, but I still have high hopes because I was told that there are people that do come from Zim that can destroy these things. I'm scared of getting scammed if I just go online. I really do not know, since you speak with a lot of people, if there is anyone that you can recommend to me. I am willing even to travel all the way to Zim so as to make sure that this Tolkoloshe can be removed from me. I do not want to do this anymore. I am tired. When a man tells you that he is tired, honestly, I am tired. Even the money that I have, the money I am willing to give it away. Maybe if this was a woman Tolkoloshe, that will be forcing me to sleep with it on a daily basis, I would not even mind. But picture this, a Tolkoloshe that used to be a gay man when he was still alive. You can imagine the damage that he is doing behind me. I really need advice now.